The same way we always start off is on a positive note. What are you doing? How well are you prepared for today? Is it a positive day, or you're just straight away looking at all the dust that is surrounding you and saying, I hate today already? No, fall in love with today and be able to overcome whatever challenges come your way. It starts with the mind. Let me just give you just a little bit of a hint into what is going to be happening today. Quite a lot coming in. We are going to be talking about the undertone, of course, for today is going to be youth-led MSMEs. We are going to be talking about the youth. How are they adapting? Remember, according to the preliminary findings of the census, quite a huge chunk of Uganda is under the age of 25. Very, very huge chunk of it. So what are the youth in Uganda? Have they got particular support? What are the policies right now? Those are the couple of things that we will be talking about. Now, when it comes to regional news, we'll give you just a sneak peek into what is happening in Kenya. A couple of revamping going on. It opens its free, it is market. It's free, duty-free import for particular imports coming in from different places, and then of course shorter Tanzania freights route as well. Just some very good news coming in. What is its implication on Uganda's economy? Those are things that we would like to be able to sink in and find out why is it happening and how does it impact us. Then coming in international news, we'll have a look at Egypt-EU investment conference, what happened in between there, what were the themes that were coming out of that, and then we'll crown it off with Zimbabwe's informal clubs. Why is it a threat? Why is it a disaster waiting to happen? These have actually taken off quite well in Uganda. They are receiving quite a lot of support from the government, doing amazing, amazing stuff for the quality of life improvement of Ugandans. But of course, there are a couple of gaps coming in. So we will get as well to compare and find out, is it worth it? What's happening in Uganda, in the Ugandan context, and what is worrying different key players within the Zimbabwe context. That much and more, and of course we'll have some press review coming in. Yesterday we had a cover story. We got quite a lot of engagement in regards to a number of people giving us feedback just because we mentioned a couple of headliners getting to talk about, if you're poor as well, account, be dragged to the police as well and account. Why are you still poor? Why haven't you utilized the different programs, government programs that have been put in place? Please get onto our social media pages as well. For those of you who missed out on that just brief conversation, let us know what you think. Why are you still having challenges? If you are poor, if you are not at that place in life where you want to be, why? You are being asked. Part of accountability, part of transparency, but also part of responsibility. We have individual responsibility as well to be able to use whatever is available to us, all resources. Now let's get back just to the theme today, to the undertone of youth SME, youth-led SMEs. Quite a lot of attention is being given to that one, because quite a lot of a huge chunk of Uganda's population is still under the ages of 25. But last time we also talked about the informal sector, at least accounting for 1.8 of informal businesses in Uganda, 1.8 million businesses in Uganda, and most of these really getting quite a sizable amount of women and the youth participating in this. Now, what has been coming on, of course, is URA coming in and saying we need to come up and get 1.2 trillion and widen the tax base. You have had quite a number of efforts and interventions coming in to see that most of these informal businesses are brought on board. They have built the markets, they put them right on the side. Market access, financing access has been made a little bit easier, especially for the different women and entrepreneurs, as well as the youth particularly. You had the Youth Livelihood Fund recently come out. Quite a lot of gaps as well have been noticeably present within some of these, especially when it comes out to the fact that some of these are supposed to have a revolving fund, but the moment the youth are able to get a grip on these monies, they do not do what was meant to be done with it. And then, of course, that culminates into failure to pay back. When there's failure to pay back, unfortunately, then that means the next beneficiary is unable to tap into it. This was hugely one of the biggest negativities that came out of it. Of course, you have the different issues that as well came out, especially during the Youth Livelihood the program. It was all about as well, you had different persons coming out and saying they weren't able to get the monies as they had expected. For those that were saying individuals, most of us were being lump summed in two groups and being asked to be, with different persons that we did not trust. As well, you had quite a number of youth come up with. There seemed to be a rush as well situation in regards to that. Now, when it comes down to whether it is a rush, of course, the different stakeholders will tell you that it was key. It was key to have urgency because there was quite a lot of noise being made about the unemployment rates being so high among the youth in Uganda. So there was urgency to actually roll out something. Now, the challenge about it, of course, with such is that once they are rolled out, the implementation is not as smooth as should have been expected. You had all those lump summing for some of the individuals who said, you know what, we were lump summed, we didn't want that, I wanted something individual, more individualized. And then, of course, you had others saying, we basically asked for 10 million, but we were told we can only be able to access a miserable 5 million, which wasn't really helpful as well enough for us. And of course, you have the others as well saying we did not have enough financial literacy. We basically continued with our businesses, and unfortunately, it did not yield into the expected sales that we were hoping for. And then, of course, you have the others coming in and saying the economy was bad by then, and different persons coming up and saying, you know what, maybe this 500 was not best suited for roadside maize, a roadside maize grill or roadside maize roasting business. Could have been maybe better for a chapati stall because of the turnover and all that. So there was quite a lot that was brought in. What is the way forward when it comes to youth-led SMEs, or with the MSMEs, the micro as well, the small, medium enterprises? They have quite a lot of support. They formulate quite a huge chunk of the population in Uganda. What is the way forward? When it comes down to some of the efforts that are being put down on ground, there has been quite a lot of effort being pushed into, are you financially literate? The trainings have been going on for quite a while, no matter where they are, whether they are in the urban setting or in the rural setting. You will notice that quite a lot of training is ongoing, especially for the youth. The youth get to tap into this. And you have also as well the skilling, particularly the skilling not only for the fresh ones coming in, the starters coming into business, but you also have the continuous training for those. These ones can be as well accessed not only just through different partners under the private sector niche, but you have lots of organizations right now that are handling the youth. And of course, we cannot forget the presidential skilling program that is really there right now. We had quite a number of the boy child, quote unquote, come in and say they were being exonerated, exempted, discriminated against, and they're saying most of the opportunity was being given to the girl child. There's even some research, by the way. There's been an increasingly huge amount of research, not so huge, but it's coming out as well, talking about within the Ugandan context the impacts, the negative impacts on that, as well as the sentiments being given and the attitudes as well being given in regards to the boy child feeling left out of skilling. So the great thing about it is that this has been integrated for the last couple of years under the presidential skilling, as well as a couple of other projects. You will notice that last time we had two specialists coming, the gender specialist as well as the communication specialist coming in from the GROW project. And they sat down and they were very clear categorically clear, said yes, this may be looking at growing the potential of women-owned businesses, but amongst those, if the shares are really 51% owned by women and then 49% owned by male, the male still gets to participate in the grow, as well as not only just the shareholders per se, the male shareholders of some of these businesses, but as well as the others, the employees, as well as all the trickle-down members of staff get to participate and be party as well to the GROW project. So that is something as well that has brought in a different light, but maybe this could be in reaction, in response to some of the sentiments of the boy child saying that he had been left out, as well as the male counterparts saying that, you know what, we feel that more girls, more of the women are getting more support than us. Now, when it comes down to the women, we have had this engagement with a couple of other women, and they say, you know what, this affirmative action and those points, please do not hold them against us. We still need this support. There's still quite a lot to be done. Of course, a couple of things are evolving when it comes down to that, but they will tell you as well, we still have lots of teenage pregnancies, we still have lots of dropouts, especially from the girls. Not only just looking at the dropout, when you have this enrollment from primary, the majority of girls do not get to move on to the secondary level in Uganda. So that additional skilling for the youth, really, not only just looking at the girls, the girl child is very, very necessary. Because if you are not able to get the girl at that particular time, or the boy at that particular time of need, especially when they are transitioning from just this primary to the secondary, if they've dropped out of school, these particular youth are being targeted by organizations, because if they are not skilled and enabled, really empowered to do something, they will get trapped into cyclical poverty. Cyclical poverty, you find out as a girl you are pregnant, you start a family, and then all the different things that come with that, the responsibilities that come with that, you are not able to get access money or a better paying job. You are not able to, you are literally living below the poverty line. Of course, this transcends as well. It moves on laterally as well to the boy child, to the youth. If they do not have the skills, if they do not have access to the skills, to the resources, to the financing, it is impossible. They also get trapped within this cyclical poverty. Now, remember, there has been quite a lot of concern, especially in relation to the youth and drug misuse, as well as alcohol misuse, the increase in crime. Remember, a couple of weeks we had lots and lots of crime coming in, those ones giving you uppercuts as you're walking and dragging your money, and most of them were still attributing this to the very high unemployment rates. Most of the other stakeholders, we've had sentiments come in as well, saying that not all the youth really get onto board when they have a clear goal, a clear aim, especially when they are coming into entrepreneurship. Most of them just come in, they are not taking this serious, they are not so aggressive. We've had some comparisons actually between the Ugandan citizens as well as the Kenyan citizens, and I remember one person mentioning and saying, you know what, Kenyans are quite aggressive when it comes to business, and no wonder the growth rates for their businesses are higher compared to us. This stands, of course, to be found out. Is it the truth? Are we very relaxed when it comes to business, when it comes to personal growth? Are we not so interested? Do we need 100 pushes to go forward? We have everything going for you. Now, in the backdrop of what was mentioned yesterday by the PM, saying you are responsible for your poverty alleviation, because the government is sinking trillions, billions and billions into programs that are meant to help you get out as the youth. So what are you doing? When it comes to that, and the fact that we have had this discussion before, the reality about it is that the responsibility as well, you have a particular responsibility. The onus is on you to do something about your poverty alleviation, to see that you are an active player. You know that there are people who are not active players. They're all about just sit down. There are those ones who say government at Tuyambe when there is a reason, a plausible reason, because they cannot, there are lots of impediments. Maybe there are no roads going over, so their perishables perish every now and then. Those ones have the right to say government at Tuyambe. But you know, when you are saying government at Tuyambe, I need a job, and the government is saying, you know, we have put ABCD, there is this skilling, there is this access to financing, surely it is a gap that you ought to do something about as the youth. We have as well had different issues, of course, different sentiments coming in all together about the gaps that are within the programs. Most of the youth say they still are excluded, especially the males. They say they are not able to tap in and get this. Whereas on the other side, the girls are saying that we are being enabled, we are being skilled, we are being given the starter packs, whether it is for the salon, they give them something, whether it is for baking, they give them something, especially under the presidential skilling. But then they're saying that as well, that most of their businesses are not sustainable. Yes, because of the economy, because of macroeconomics, way out of their control. This is some of the sentiments and feedback coming from some of the youth that have been engaged. They're saying, yes, we are doing our best, but the reality about it is that there is no money circulating in the economy. They said that apart from that, we are not able to tap into to grow bigger. There is no market. And yet it's contradictory that in the same space within this particular economy, most of the key players are saying the market is still untapped. Regional market is untapped. National market is untapped. There's a lot needed for maize, and there's a lot needed for grain. There's a lot needed for our staff. But then you also have the incoming traders, or the traders within that, saying we are not protected. The government is not protecting us. Kenya has, Tanzania is huge, is doing very well at protectionism, whereas Kenya definitely blocks us every now and then. Our milk is stranded and grain is sent back. Why isn't that policy being enacted quite well in Uganda? Most Ugandans in business actually feel that they are not protected. They are abandoned by the government. And quite a lot of zeal is put towards different investors coming into the countries. They have tax breaks. They are able to access, premises in the industrial gazetted industrial spaces. And they're saying that as for us, we are choking on rent. We are choking on rent. No one is coming in to help us. And even when we are able to access these monies as youth, the economy is doing bad. The economy is doing bad. We can't grow. It's not sustainable. There's still quite a lot in regards to youth-led MSMEs and all that umbrella covering. But that is the undertone for this topic. We're going to be talking about this all throughout. Is it worthwhile? Get onto our social media pages and let us know what you think. Smart24 TV official, as well as Smart24 as one word. Smart24 TV as one word. But for now, let me dive straight into the press review, find out what else is happening in Uganda. The press review. It's always interesting to find out what is in the papers. The survey, this particular survey, Uganda ranked second in Africa in commitment to democracy. It's ranked second in Africa. I can hear a couple of sniggers coming in from all you people, but those who are watching. But the reality is Uganda is ranked second in this survey in commitment to democracy. The survey covered 39 countries out of the 54 in Africa. Commitment to democracy and its perceived full supply. You have Zambia coming in first place at 69%, Uganda coming in at 62%, Sierra Leone coming in at 59%, Mauritius, Kenya, Senegal, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Tanzania coming in as well. Quite a lot to be talked about. Well, Winnie Chiza, the former leader of the opposition, decried political violence, which she said undermines the country's efforts to advance democracy. She welcomed the report, but noted that several politicians start demanding for democracy only during the election period. Emmanuel Dombo also reiterated that and also cautioned the country against hate speech, noting that democracy involves listening and talking to each other, as opposed to a situation prevailing in the country where disagreeing parties avoid each other. It is sad that when the opposition wants to engage the government, they want to come with a predetermined position. How can you say you want to discuss how to unseat me with myself? Contradiction. Contradiction. Morning, Noah.
Morning.
How can you say you want to discuss how to unseat me with myself? Yes, you want to unseat me and you're coming over to discuss. Emmanuel Dombo is saying it's ridiculous.
But that
sounds
that's
okay.
called dialogue.
Yes, it sounds fine as well. Sam
Dialogue.
says,
Maybe you deserve to go and we need to sit and talk about how exactly are you living.
yeah.
Are you passing through the window or you're going through the door?
When will you leave? Actually, that is also as well important. Why government failed to collect 31 billion from gold exporters? This comes in handy. Yesterday we had this talk about the informal sector, and we talked about mining and quarrying being part of it because it is unmonitored, hugely unmonitored, and there is quite a lot of revenue drain from that particular area because of lack of formality of this. So we are seeing this coming in. The URA commissioner wondered how the money could be collected from the companies when there is no law. A lot needs to be done in regards to that. Parliament reconsiders, passes appropriation bill 2024. Wow, and this is something else that was coming in as well. You could imagine. Now it has reconsidered and passes.
There's quite drama in Parliament over that.
Yeah, a lot.
That appropriation bill debate.
A lot.
First, the turn-up was quite good. You know, our MPs are active when it comes to discussing money.
Because the lead, the head is involved in this, and he was annoyed and sent it back. Yes.
You think that's why they turned up?
Yeah, that's why they turned up.
Some of them
how was the turn up?
A number of them was good. Some of them were complaining.
How has the turn up been?
The turn up was good.
Implication, they have been implicated. They still hold fire under those seats of theirs in Parliament. Of course, they have to turn up. Yes.
But also they were complaining about one of them was saying the president shouldn't just send things and expect us to just pass them.
They felt they had been trivialized
and also
familiarized.
One was crying and saying he accused us of being corrupt.
But
actually said he accused them of being corrupt.
Yeah, those who were implicated. There was reason. There was reason for that. So you cannot say there are a couple of them and they're all inside there. New curriculum, head teachers want more staff and classrooms. All this is happening. UPE, USE to let all children access free education. How free is free? How free is free? You still go in. How free is free? Those books, those pens. Do you know that there are so many in the villages, by the way, that are still excluded? So many children under UPE. So many children. There is still those little fees, the 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. You know, that are still coming in. And I remember the
trust me, that money is still very big for.
It is huge. The RDCs were involved in this, in some of these districts here, and they were said pinpoint, let's identify these schools, yes, and hold them accountable. Nothing should be levied. And then, of course, the other ones are saying, but how? Otherwise, they will go hungry. They will be in shambles. Nothing is happening. So we need some little money.
The dilemma around UPE, a lot of dilemma around UPE. The ratio of teacher to people is crazy. I mean, you're going to find 200 people with one teacher.
The student-teacher ratio is still ridiculous. It's still very ridiculous.
So that's a problem.
A lot needs to be done. Government to register Ugandans abroad. Diaspora efforts commended. Yes, and you know, Alupo commended, the Vice President commended the unwavering commitment and resilience of Ugandans in the diaspora, she said they contribute significantly, but during a meeting in Johannesburg, it was mentioned that surely the vital role, since there's a vital role played by the Ugandan diaspora, they should be able to have a good number on how many are out there and what they are doing. People are hiding. People are in hiding. People are in hiding, and here Uganda wants to see how they can contribute to the economy.
MPs give Museveni what belongs to him. Lawmakers yield real estate 750 billion Uganda shillings to the budget after President Museveni sends the appropriations bill 2024 back to the House over contentious allocation of the money. So belongs. The article is also serious. MPs give Museveni what belongs to him. Okay, and here I did not kill Katanga. Mole tells court. That's another case that has been running around court here and there
for quite a while.
And not a lot of good news in here. Nights out, not good news. This one is not good actually.
It isn't.
The nights out in the cold for the wetland evictees. Man, these people, I don't know how life, you know, you may sit down and think life is being hard on you, but if you know you've been sleeping in a very good house, that you built with your money, then you wake up the following day on the street. Trust me, life can't be good.
It can't.
Clan leaders now head to Namibia to check on Kabaka. That's quite a budget for Buganda there. I'm not looking at anything else but the serious budget there. AG report why UPE hasn't caught steam 27 years later.
Remember, today is Wednesday. We will be joined shortly to talk about just a little bit of insight into the financial markets and some news coming in as well. Lastly, in the new vision is collective investment schemes in Uganda have grown over the years, attracting. It's huge, and this was cited as well by the Capital Markets Authority. We'll have a little bit of more insight with our colleague coming in between 8 to 8:30. Please don't miss out on that.
In the day matter, there's a photo. There's a picture here of the situation of the people who were evicted in the wetland. A gentleman sleeping under some kind of tablet, and he's like camping. No bed sheets, no what. There's a family.
I recently saw another pic of a lady who was staying with her child under a table. Yes, under a table that night.
There's a story here. Police detain ex-Rubaga deputy RCC.
Why?
Our story is something that you just need to get to follow the guy. You know, he had running battles with the speaker on social media.
Oh,
running battles with the speaker on social media.
Yeah.
And suddenly he was requested to resign. He was asked to resign. Orders from, I think, State House, I think. And then he has been around in here and there, criticizing, speaker criticizing a number of NRM cadres over certain things here and there. And he's either opposition or NRM who stands for something that he maybe many may not really agree with. But yes, so that's the story of the former the ex-RCC of Rubaga. I shot Mayuge family in revenge, says SFC soldier.
People have stress. We talked about mental health here. Please be mindful. Get to know, identify, be aware of these things. But just wrap up, just one more.
So one of the other story, this one I think I found it online. There's also the elemental story about 300 youth who could not qualify for the UPDF.
Within this last screening?
Yes, this last screening.
Yes.
So issues of age, because the UPDF wants between 18 and 28, I think.
Not
and of course, healthy issues are also very important. They're paramount in the issues of recruitment for UPDF.
Yes.
So a number of them had health issues, a number of them did not have qualifications, and a number of them were just older. But I think one of the things that I would like to add on the issue of recruitment for UPDF, they should know that in Uganda, I think the issue of youth should just be extended to 30.
To 30?
Otherwise, they're going to leave out so many young people. I would consider them young because in terms of productivity, some of them have taken a long time to be productive, not because they want, but because there's no opportunity for them to be productive in a more broader picture.
But they're not recruiting based on sympathetic ground.
So that's not sympathy. You can't tell me 30.
Let us
30 years can work.
You're still young at 30. No, it is capability.
30 years can work, Doreen.
No.
Trust me.
The recruitment is not done on sympathetic grounds.
Okay. If it's not on sympathetic ground, why are some of them almost dying in office with age? Like basically you see someone, he can't even stand.
You must be relevant, physical.
Are they relevant? Are the people in office? I saw one of the leaders almost dying
you're
in
30,
office.
You're overweight, you're going for
30, a Ugandan is young.
30. They're already tired. They are not. Let's
create a balance.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back after this message. They are old.